I don't consider it cheating, and it has its stone out. It's not going to replace my Wigglytuff Giri Choco or Honto Choco. So Godava was like, let's stop doing this. Required of you as a girl to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do in university, so I was going to go into. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday. It is officially the first sleep report that we get during the spring festival. So let's see what sort of Pokemon show up. I did use a Happiny incense, so no surprise there. There is going to be a Happiny that shows up. But this is session 654. And no, I actually do not get that amount of sleep. I track my sleep before I actually go to sleep to make sure that my Snorlax gets as much sleep as possible, just to take into account any errors that might happen during sleep tracking. So yeah. I don't consider it cheating. I've made a video in the past, is this considered cheating? And it seems like other people don't think that's cheating either. Also, it's like just sleep tracking for a game, so who really cares, right? We are going to do the quick review and the speed review, and we'll see quick snapshots of everything that showed up. All right, so one of those is a Happiny. There's 2 Spheals and 1 Toxicroak, or a Krogunk. So that's pretty exciting, because I do need to find a better Spheal and a oil farming Toxicroak. But there's one more Happiny, I think, because it says there's one more Pokemon. But this is Happiny. Mimicking Chansey, Happiny will place a round egg-shaped stone in its belly pouch. If you see it sleeping with the stone out, Happiny may still be playing house in its dreams. Like, how cute is that? And I wear this top because it reminds me of Blissey. So let's see how lucky I get. Oh, there's another one. It's so cute. And it has its stone out. Playing house sleep. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Alright, so we are just missing the 2-star sleep style and the 4-star sleep style. And I'm having a bad hair day. On top of that, you guys, I learned that the construction going on is gonna happen for like a year plus. So pray for me. I feel like I'm gonna have to stock up on Panadol or something because the migraines are gonna be insane. But we have a hungry Spheal and we have a hungry Weeping Bell, I think this is called. Unfortunately, no hungry Chansey or Happiny, but I'm going to give a bonus biscuit to this Happiny. We're gonna feed it a regular biscuit, and if it gets full, at least I have the other one to feed it. But I don't need to feed that Weeping Bell because I don't really use mine anymore since I have better tomato and potato farmers. Oh, okay, so I could feed it one more. Let's just catch it. And then I'm gonna throw a biscuit to the other one just to get it ready for the next time we encounter it. And I'll give a biscuit to this Spheal as well. And maybe to the Toxicroak also. I'm also quite tempted with that Cramorant. I have pretty good spawns, so I don't know. I won't attempt catching that because in my head I'm thinking, if it shows up again, it might be hungry, so we'll bank on that chance. But let's just give everyone a biscuit just to fill up their bars a bit. Also, you never know if we get a mega hit. You know, I am quite tempted for that Cramorant, but I'd rather save my biscuits. Alright, well that's going to be it for feeding time. Let's see whether or not this Happiny is good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at the playing house one because it's just so cute. And I love how it looks like Happiny is wearing pants that's over its belly. Like when toddlers have protruding stomachs, and it's so cute, and then you put the pants over it. So adorable. Alright, the moment of truth. Let's see how this Happiny looks. It's a careful nature. I forget what careful is. But yeah, it's an ingredient Pokemon. I don't know why I kept thinking it was a skill Pokemon. I'm guessing because up until now, all the energy for everyone Pokemon have been skill-based. But it makes sense that it would be an ingredient Pokemon if it's going to be the new mono egg farmer. We got AAB, so egg, potato. Not bad. I hear some people say that they're looking for AAB or AAC instead of mono egg. So let me know if you guys are going for that. And it is Ingredient Finder S, that's looking good. Dream Shard bonus, not needed. Berry Finding, okay. Inventory Up S, that's good. And Inventory Up L at the end, that is pretty good as well. It is a main skill chance up, Ingredient Finding down. So the Ingredient Finding S does cancel out the Ingredient Finding down of it, but I'm going to have to see how much Chansey or Blissey farms eggs if I only have this 2. Because if things are looking good and I'm producing like 60 eggs a day just with these 2, then I think that's enough for me. 60 eggs a day is pretty good. Anything else would be like overkill. And I did receive a question. Someone asked me, because it has the energy for everyone's skill, should they be prioritizing ingredient finding or skill trigger? And I think it depends on a lot of things, like how comfortable you are with wanting to have your Pokemon proc a little more, but also where you are in the game. If you have a really good healer, knowing that it's an ingredient finding Pokemon, that changed things for me, that it's not going to replace my Wigglytuff or Gardevoir. But the fact that it does provide heals throughout the day is good, because I'm only going to probably on a dessert week use this for 1 or 2 days once it's farming me a good production of eggs, and then I'm not using it anymore. But while it is on the team, if it uses its main skill, it provides a good boost in energy, which is nice, and then it makes it quicker for you to retire your healer so that you could use that space for something else. So in that case, I don't think I would prioritize finding this Pokemon with skill trigger. I would actually want it to have ingredient finding instead, because I don't have a mono egg farmer. So I don't have a good Delibird or a Abomasnow to farm me eggs. And to be honest, between the three, I much prefer the Chansey line, because it's just what I like more between the other two egg farmers, and that's really comes down to personal preference at that point. But if I were looking for the perfect Chansey for me, I would want ingredient finding up stuff on it. It wouldn't bum me out if I did not get skill trigger, and if I did get skill trigger on it, I wouldn't shy away from using it either. You know what I'm saying? So those are my thoughts about it. But also, do keep in mind that my advice is coming from someone who plays casually. Like, I do like to min-max a bit, but I also give myself the freedom to relax and chill a little as well, and just go for personal preference. And at the end of the day, it's really what you're comfortable with as well. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I started. I'm going to keep this one and continue searching, but I'm pretty happy for our first find. I did watch Bro Vinny's video yesterday about the Chansey, or actually the Chansey versus Blissey, whether you should evolve it or not, the egg production, how many times does it proc its skill, and I think it is a very insightful video. I learned a lot from it, and you guys should check it out as well. But let's see if anyone is going to trigger their skill. My Wigglytuff finally triggered its skill. Yesterday it wasn't really doing well, so I had to give it an energy pillow this morning since I used my berry team overnight. And let's make lunch. I'm pretty happy with this week because ninja salad week for me, and my ninja salads are doing pretty well. So with the boost of dish strength, I'm going to get quite the amount of EXP, which will just help me level up this dish even more. My goal for the end of this week is to make the new salad, the bigger salad, 3 times, hopefully, if I have enough space in my ingredient bag for it. But you'll see here, I think this will bring me up to Master 10, and last night I finished at Master 4. So thanks to my berry team overnight, oh sorry, I lied. Master 9, I think. This will bring me to Master 9. I'm at Master 7 right now or something. Oh, sorry, I lied again. I'm at Master 8. It brought me up to Master 8. I was at Master 7, it brought me to Master 8. I'm like a hair's away from reaching Master 9. But last night I was Master 4, so my berry team gave me a good boost, and then my breakfast, which was not crit, gave me a good boost to Master 7. Let's pick up our sleep points because we desperately need it. I only have 836, but now I have 936. So we are very poor. Let's do our daily gift. Let's hope that it's some biscuits. Even better. Oh, it's 1. Okay. I was gonna say even better if it's 3 biscuits, but I will take 1 biscuit. You can also get a great biscuit from this, I believe. And let's go into the community sleep report. Before we do all of our yapping, here is my coffee of the day. Let me give it a mix. It's looking a little dull. All right, I gave it a mix. It's looking beautiful now. Cheers, everyone. I hope you guys used the Happiny incense and encountered some of your own. But cheers, that is delicious. So the thing I want to share with you guys today is about Valentine's Day in Japan. I recently watched this commentary video on YouTube that talks about Godiva, the chocolate brand, and how they wrote a segment on some news column or something like that. They wrote something. Basically, asking company managers to ban the obligation chocolate, or what you may know and recognize as Giri Choco in Japanese. If you watch anime and it's like February and you see they give like Giri Choco or Honto Choco, which is like the true feelings chocolate. But obligation chocolate is basically something that women have to give to the men in their lives, specifically bosses, because that was a good way for them to show appreciation for their boss looking over them throughout the years. And it started because there was this chocolate brand that was not Japanese. I think it was like a European chocolate brand that came to Japan, and they tried to infiltrate the Japanese market by pushing on this idea of Valentine's Day onto the Japanese people, but that didn't really work. Abby, congrats on the shiny Squirtle! So basically, Godiva urged company bosses to abandon the practice of Giri Choco because, one, it became a very expensive thing for women, because there's this fine line in Japanese culture where you don't want to insult people, but at the same time you don't want to give them the wrong impression. So something that women, also Cypher, congrats on that Raikou find, but something that women struggled with every year when it was Valentine's Day is that they had to buy chocolate, but if you buy something that's too cheap, it can come off the wrong way. But if you spend too much money as well, it may give your boss or your male colleagues the wrong impression. So it becomes this whole thing you have to think so much about, and you're buying it for like all of your colleagues in the office, some people you don't even talk to. It became quite the expensive thing, especially in today's economy, right? So Godiva was like, let's stop doing this. Valentine's Day should be a day where people express their true feelings for each other. Let's abandon this Giri Choco thing. But the reason why Giri Choco worked so well is also other things rooted in Japanese culture when it comes to like loyalty and stuff like that. So it's truly fascinating to examine that culture and see how Valentine's Day differs so differently from how it does in like my part of the world. And Valentine's Day was like a day where you confess your love for each other, you know? So you may be wondering, why ban the practice altogether? Why not just give people the option of giving Giri Choco if they want to, but also allowing people who don't want to practice in that to opt out? Well, the reason why they would want to ban it altogether is because it allows for it so that you are not putting any pressure on people to do it. So yeah, what is the benefit of banning it? Well, if you ban it, you don't allow for anyone to practice in that either. Instead of just saying, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Creedler, congrats on the shiny Mr. Mime. Because let's say if you just tell people, okay, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Well, what's going to happen? Unfortunately, the bosses there will have a halo effect towards the people who decide to give chocolates compared to those who can't for whatever reason. Like, let's just say that year is a little tight for you on money and you can't give chocolate, or maybe your boss is harassing you and it sickens you to think that you would be giving chocolate to some guy that is taking advantage of you, and it sucks, you know? So banning it altogether just eliminates all those headaches of women feeling pressure to give chocolate, or giving women the opportunity to have a heads up in the game compared to their peers who may not want to partake in that tradition, you know? So I think it's very smart. And you might be wondering, wow, well, Godiva is a chocolate company. Aren't they, you know, ruining their market by telling people to not buy Giri Choco? And I think on initial thought, you would be like, yeah, they're totally ruining the market for themselves. But the thing is, a lot of the Japanese chocolate companies pretty much like show up in the woodwork for that time of the year specifically. Think of Christmas holiday decor that only comes up during that time of the year. But Godiva sells chocolate that is not just for Giri Choco. They sell artisanal chocolates throughout the entire year for whatever reason. So if they were to say, hey, stop doing Giri Choco in your work, not only do they cut their competitors, but they still thrive because people are still going to be buying chocolate. It's just not just for obligation chocolate. And I find that super, super fascinating. And then I think to myself, like, man, if I was forced to buy chocolate to my male colleagues and my boss, I'd be like, what the heck? The chocolate is expensive nowadays, you know? And then like having to have that worry of whether or not you're giving the wrong impression, like the types of chocolate that you're giving, like you don't know what people would tell themselves in their mind to reason like, oh my god, she got me chocolate and there's like one heart shape, that means she likes me. and stuff like that, you know? And you gotta protect yourself sometimes as a woman. So I thought it was just super fascinating when I heard that, because a lot of women were for it too. For it meaning for the ban of Giri Choco, because they're like, they're over it. You know, you see this sort of attitudes toward women wanting to exercise their rights more in Japan and shift away from the traditional view of what is expected of them. And I used to have a Japanese coworker when I worked in a sushi kiosk during my college days. And she told me how like it's required of you as a girl to do your hair and makeup if you're stepping outside, or especially if you're going to work. Like it's written in the handbook, like you gotta do your hair and makeup. And I was like, that is wild. And that is wild because I didn't even know how to do my makeup during the time that I met her, and she was already being like, it was expected of her to do so. And I also know that in Canada, my previous boss, who was a woman, she told me that when she was my age and she was starting work, she was actually forced to wear heels. It was part of the employee handbook. It was like a grocery store in the headquarter area, and women there were forced to wear heels. And me, I only wear heels in special occasions like weddings, and let me tell you, they freaking hurt. They freaking hurt. Guys out there, if you're not used to wearing heels, go take one of your mom or girlfriend's or sister friend's heels and try wearing it. And don't do it like a couple steps. Try wearing it for like an hour on your feet, and then tell me if that's comfortable. Well, it might be comfortable if they have like 2-inch heels with cushioning and like all the extra stuff that you buy for your heel to make it comfortable. Yeah, you buy like accessories for your heels to make it more comfortable and bearable. Some you don't have to, but if you're wearing like other heels that are just not comfortable for the human foot, then you will know that is not fun. So yeah, just wild to me how things are so different now than it is back in the day. I know in Japan it's still expected for women to do their hair and makeup, and I was like in awe when I was in Japan for the first time. I'm like, how is everyone looking so flawless? Why is their hair so perfect and there's not a flyaway? And then I remember my coworker who once told me we have to wear makeup and do our hair every day if we leave the house. And then it made sense to me. But yeah, the obligation is insane. The upkeep of your appearance. Not to mention, like if you watch Naruto growing up, Sakura, you see how she has like things she says and then her inner thoughts. I forgot what the word for that specifically is, like Tatamae or something like that. But basically, yeah, these are my Japanese ex-coworkers words. Japanese people, she told me Japanese people are very two-faced because they'll say something but they mean a totally different thing. Like for example, if someone Japanese tells you, wow, your kids are very energetic, you who are not used to that, you might think, yeah, thank you so much, like my kids, yeah, they love to have fun. But what they're actually trying to tell you is, your kids are noisy, tell them to behave. Or if they say something like, wow, your fashion is so expressive, it looks so good on you, but I would not ever wear it, but it looks so good on you. They're basically saying like, wow, I don't like the way you dress. And yeah, there's just so much examples I could give. I'm probably not doing it justice. And yeah, it's a very fascinating thing. If you guys are curious, like look it up. But it's so ingrained in their culture. And my coworker at the time told me how it's so like mentally exhausting to have to dance around in those conversations where people are saying one thing but they're totally meaning the other. But they know what they're doing, you know? And you see this in anime too. And I feel like sometimes if you're not familiar with the culture, then things get lost in translation in the anime as well. And it's just like so interesting. But yeah, that is like my little spiel on Japanese Giri Choco or Valentine's Day chocolates in Japan when it comes to obligation chocolate that women have to give. One more thing I want to say about the whole Valentine's Day thing. I know that White Day is a thing. It's a month after Valentine's Day where it's the men's turn to give a gift to the women that they received gifts from. And I hear pretty mixed things. It's like they either give gifts to everyone who gave them gifts, or they just give a gift back to the women that they feel feelings for. And usually the rule of thumb is they spend 3 times the amount on the gift that the women spend. So I mean, it just causes for an environment of like, why are we spending so much on chocolate? You know, like I'd rather you keep your money, I keep my money. Like we don't have any feelings for each other. We don't need to do this like facade, you know? And like imagine the mind tricks. Like what if you're a woman and you really don't like your male colleague and you spend like expensive chocolate, because then you're forcing him to spend 3 times the amount come white day. And if he doesn't, then it's like he's going to be looked at a certain way. Like what are we doing with that? You know, that just sounds so horrible as well. So yeah, it's just very different the way they spend Valentine's Day there. But I do love, and Valentine's Day is a holiday that I actually very much enjoy. Like back in Canada, I would see people of all different ages and genders just buying flowers, and you're like, you look at that and you're like, wow, I love to see the love, you know? But yeah, those are my final thoughts. Do you guys celebrate Valentine's Day? Me and my boyfriend, we've been dating for 6 years now, and we've celebrated 6 Valentine's Day together. And we really much enjoy it. I know some couples who don't do Valentine's Day. I know some people who don't even like to receive flowers. So it really depends on the person, and it really comes down to communicating with your partner what your expectations are. And for me and my partner, we love doing that. He likes to spoil me on those days, but he doesn't really want anything in return. So I've tried like the Valentine's Day basket, and he was excited, but it wasn't the reaction I was looking for. And then one year I bought him a rose as well. But yeah, he's just like not much of a gift receiver. He is a type of person that derives his joy from seeing me happy, and it just works out very well in our relationship. But every relationship is different. Sorry if there's like annoying drilling sound in the back. It's gonna be like this for a while, so I'm still trying to figure out what the best time to record is. But it seems like my hopes of starting streaming this year isn't going to be as smooth sailing as I expect it to be. So I don't know, we will see with all the construction going on in this building. But it seems like if you guys have been watching me from Canada, yeah, the last couple months there, like I just could not escape construction, and it's followed me here in Singapore. But do you guys celebrate Valentine's Day? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the whole Giri Choco thing in Japan too? And are you into Japanese culture? Fun fact, I didn't know what I wanted to do in university, so I was going to go into East Asian studies, and my career path was to learn a lot about Japan, learn Japanese, and then become a translator or a localizer for a gaming company. But life took me in a different direction, and yeah, I ended up doing something completely different, but I'm very happy with my decision. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it every time you do. Don't forget to join us in the Discord. You could find the Discord link in the description of this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, take care, good luck, have fun, and good luck on your search for whatever you're looking for. Bye.